Welcome to Microbeast version 3, step J, teaching your Microbeast the cyclic geometry. For this one, you're going to need a pitch gauge, and you can use a regular pitch gauge, a digital pitch gauge, or as I prefer, the laser pitch gauge. Set your helicopter up so the blades are parallel with the tail boom. Now, for the regular pitch gauge, I superimpose zero pitch on your screen. It worked pretty good. To use it, you have to have some reference for zero pitch. Don't use that bubble level unless your helicopter is perfectly level. Then you can just step to step K. Now, for the digital pitch gauge, I superimpose zero pitch and 6 degrees on your screen. This thing had a problem settling into a reading. And when I got where I thought it was averaging 6 degrees, well, it turns out it's off about a half a degree. And I did zero it properly, so I won't be using that again. I am going to use my laser pitch gauge. And to get the distance between the marks, I use my calculator, my iPhone. And I'm going to calculate for 6 degrees, and the center of the head button's 1200 millimeters from the wall. I like to work in millimeters. So 6 degrees, I get the tangent and multiply it by 1200. And that gives me 126 millimeters. I get my ruler out and I put another mark 126 millimeters from the reference mark. Now, when you go into the step, the head will pop into a certain position. That's where you want to put that bottom mark. And use your aileron stick to put it at exactly 6 degrees. And before you get there, you should get that blue status light. But if you don't, I'll explain later. You can just step out of this or any step, and it'll save your work. When you turn the Microbeast back on and go through this step and on to step K, you don't have to repeat your work unless you move a stick on the transmitter. Don't do that. So if you didn't get a blue status light before you got to 6 degrees, don't panic. You can put shorter balls on the inside ring of the swash plate. They both have to be the same. Or you can put longer balls on the outside of the swash plate, and they have to be the same. Or you can do both. And as a last resort, you can move the balls in on the servo arms. And they all have to be equal. Don't do that unless you have to. If you do change the balls of the servo arms, go back to step G and check to make sure you're still at zero pitch. If not, adjust the pitch rod so you are. Don't forget, when you're in step G, if the status light is off, you're at factory center on the servos, and that's not necessarily what you want to be. Move the rudder stick so the status light is on, any color. Then you can be sure the swash plate's level. Don't touch the cyclic stick. If you do, you'll have to repeat step G. Now next up is step K, setting the pitch range.